You never feel like you've finished looking at it. So you can look at it once, but you really don't feel like you've seen everything.
My name's Rebecca Helen and I'm part of the paintings conservation team here at Tate Britain.
It is one of the most loved pictures in the Tate collection. People keep asking where it is. My name is Caroline Corbeau-Parsons. I'm an assistant curator at Tate Britain and I look after Sargent's paintings.
This painting came off display, which is quite a rare thing. We agreed for it to go to the National Portrait Gallery, which is obviously only just up the road from Tate Britain.
The title itself, Carnation, Lily, Lily, Rose, has a rhythm that suits the picture very well. Sargent painted it at a time when he was in crisis. So it's a very important picture for his life, but also for the history of British art. It's the picture which probably made Impressionism accepted in England.
Sargent sees two little girls lighting lanterns at Pangbourne originally, and it was simply an image that really inspired him, and he took that idea and decided that he wanted to create a masterpiece.
He really had to reproduce this vision, this magical vision that he had.
We know that he struggled because he writes about his struggles in correspondence to friends and family, and he calls it an extremely difficult subject. He painted it over 2 summer periods in 1885 and 1886. He did paint some of the elements of the composition individually, even though he's all the time conceiving of this kind of snapshot moment.
The main challenge, of course, with painting Twilight, when you are committed to painting en plein air, is that you only had between 2 and 20 minutes to actually capture the light. Painting en plein air was effectively painting in open nature, and it was an ideal for people like Turner, but it became a real credo for somebody like Monet. And of course, Sargent was very close to Monet at the time, and he shared this practice with him. The whole community of artists in Broadway felt that they played a part in this picture, because every night at twilight they all had to stop their activities, they had to stop playing tennis, and they had to help Sargent set up the whole studio, if you want, even though he was painting outside. The way in which he painted was very physical. People commented on the fact that he looked like a fencer. What he was doing was comparing all the time what he could see and then transcribe it onto the canvas, which meant that he had this very long brush and his palette in hand and did this, stepped back, looked at the scene and did this. And he had to work so quickly, and even quicker than usual, obviously, because he only had 10 minutes to paint every day.
He was meant to have been a fantastic pianist. He probably paints like he played the piano, in the sense that he can move with the canvas and move with the paintbrushes, and you can see that in the way that he applies wet and wet paint strokes and develops the image.
Time was of the essence, and that was, I think, the greatest challenge. It really comes together because Sargent looked at this very specific light so closely, and because he had this direct experience of it. And that's why he scraped down the canvas every night. He had to get it right. Some people at the time would have considered the painting to be unfinished purely because of Sargent's very gestural brushwork. So if you look at the hand of Dolly Barnard, it looks absolutely fine and finished from far away, but if you look at it from very close up, you do wonder what it is. Some of Sargent's contemporaries would have judged this to be too sketchy.
It has a great value to those who are interested in process. Looking at the painting in such detail has really given us an opportunity to try and understand how much effort, consideration, as well as spontaneity goes into creating what people think of as a very strong piece of English Impressionism.
It triggers all sorts of sensations. You can just feel this painting, and I think that's possibly why it's so popular. Many 19th century paintings also requires some sort of interpretation, where you need to understand the narrative maybe to appreciate the painting. But here it's not the case. For me, it's a visual poem that you can appreciate immediately.